Let's just get right to
Let's
it.
get
You
to it.
just launched your book. And what was the significance? You didn't just do it on April 11th. You actually launched at 11/11. What was the significance of 11/11?
Well, I think that we a lot of times I can't, it's hard for me to imagine, right? I would say that what we figured out was that a lot of people around the world see the 11/11 as a spiritual number.
Angel number,
An
yes.
angel number, right? And also the 11/11 for me is that, you know, you got two 11s, and it's the old knowledge system and the new knowledge system. I think we wanted to lock down a time, right? And so one of the most beautiful times that I felt within a day is that number 11 dot 11.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful time, and you know, a lot of times throughout the day, if I happen to look at my watch and it's 11/11, I'm like, ooh, I get,
Yes,
you know,
right.
I
I do the same thing.
Right? I get it.
11/11, 333, you know, fives.
yeah.
But you're right. It does have that feeling because
Yeah.
it is very popular. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost in a sense of a trend. But for those that are spiritually connected, we know the significance of it.
Yeah, and I am a scientist, so I would say that we've chosen to make it spiritual, right? So
Yeah.
that's you're right. I mean, I'm a scientist, so I recognize that, but it's one of those things that just, you know, people make, you know, choose numbers in a different way, but that 11/11 one it's a beautiful one, and we're going to be releasing a lot of our stuff on the 11/11. We're going to lock that down.
Awesome. And I think you might have had, I'm not sure, was it 11 people in here at the time, but I believe that it might have been. So the significance of that. So tell us, what inspired you to write this book? Well, the series, because
it's a
from what I
series.
heard, it was a series
Yes,
of
it's a
books.
series.
How did you come up with the series?
Well, I would say that like what I was considering writing before I wrote this was Bitcoin, the Bitcoin economy financing utopia.
Yes, I remember we talked about that. Great
because
discussion.
I've been teaching about Bitcoin for the last probably since 2018. Learning, you know, actually in 2018 I first started teaching like cryptocurrency, blockchain in the global economy, and then I taught something like Bitcoin in the global economy, and now I'm just teaching Bitcoin. So I learned more and more about it, and the more I learned about it, the more I realized, you know, they say that, you know, people go into Bitcoin for speculation, right? You know, because you talked to me about it in the context of speculation.
I was doing Bitcoin with my Cash
Yeah,
App, and
yeah.
you know, every check buy some, and then when you need it, you just spend it and you keep buying it. So
Yeah,
it works for
and
me.
the financial market, right? I mean, people mostly, like, you know, people entered into Bitcoin a lot, entered into form of gambling, for example, right? But the more I learned about it, I realized that this is money. Right? And I was like, wow, this is money. This is not just an asset to be gambled on, right? This is money. So they say a lot of people say people come for the speculation and stay for the revolution.
Right, because we don't, when things are new and you don't understand it and you don't really have the knowledge of it, well then it's just easier to say it's a scam, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and so I started that way, but the thing is that I
did your research, huh?
I did. Well, so the book in the series it's called Microeconomics in the Digital Age, and what it does, it breaks down this idea of physical scarcity. So your time, you know, you were out somewhere else, and now you're here. Very beautiful, actually.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah. But our time is scarce, right? Resources are scarce.
Yes.
And it's very clear in the physical world, that scarcity. But once we enter into the digital world, it's filled with digital abundance. And, you know, like you send a text message, like even though you had what you say, Android, right? The text message still, I mean, it turns green, but it's still there.
That's right.
And so it could be shared with 1,000, 100,000, or 2, right? So there's no scarcity.
Because it's digital.
because it's digital, right?
Right.
And so as I started studying that, I realized that well, one, I like these young folks here, they turned me on to AI. Right?
Yes.
AI was significant. I was able to use AI like to help edit my work and
Okay.
do research for my work.
Not write the work, though.
No.
Well, you know, we got to clear that up. 'Cause
Oh yeah,
people
yeah. No,
just
let me
think
let me
that.
say right. I mean, this so it's in the volume, right? This issue is, does AI take away jobs or does it augment jobs, right? And
good
so for me,
point of
right, I'm a
thoughts.
college professor,
Right.
right? I've been a professor for over 30 years. I'm pretty good at it, but what I would say is that AI helped my skill set as a professor, even though I've been in the field for 30 years.
Wow. Ashay,
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you
I
know.
think it can like enhance whatever skills that you have because, you know, when people say, well, you know, you can put a thought into it and then it can expand on that thought. But if you are a genius,
Yeah.
right, or an intellect such as yourself, well, now you put it in AI and it takes it to beyond levels of creation that might not ever would exist or would exist but would take
I
longer
wouldn't even
to
say,
exist.
I wouldn't even use the word might not.
You think it wouldn't exist?
It wouldn't. We're not in the industrial age anymore, right?
For some people, they still are.
Well,
but
and that's exactly
they
that.
choose to, right?
Well, no, because they don't. That's why you need to buy the book,
Right.
right? Because you don't even realize that you're not in the 21st century.
Yes.
You're like Donald Trump. He's using old school methods to handle the 21st century. Competition, war, right? You know, like this.
Totalitarianism.
Listen, colonialism, imperialism, right? That's all. That's not. You know, so he's using what he knows.
Right.
His crew is using what they know.
And what they're good at.
And yeah,
That's
what they're
their
good
skill
at.
set.
Right. And so we just got to be as good at in our skill sets. Well, as my team right here, we're motivated by love, right?
Yes.
You know what we say, right?
Yes.
Love training, train love, love training, right?
Yes.
So we're training love. We love the training, and the training is we're working together, and we're building what we feel is a 21st century business model. So one thing about so again, it's not about the volume, it's about this team right here, right? We are demonstrating the truth.
An amazing team that you have. Big shouts out to Khalil, TJ, Javon, and everybody else. Always got a camera in hand and always putting a mic on me and giving me a microphone. I love it though. And I think that's one of the things that it's not just about the book. It's about the fact of the energy of expanding everyone's skill set and working together. You know, Brother Kamal, our elder always say, working together works. And the reality of it is when it comes to us, especially as African Americans, we do not work together in a unified manner, right? Everybody's in their own silos doing their own things for self. And I believe what you're creating here is what is necessary for us as we do go towards the digital age. We have to unite and work together in our projects and our things, and you make money together.
Yeah. We fell for the okie doke.
Right.
You know, and the okie doke was individualism, right?
Yes.
You know, because
That's
you know,
right.
as Brother Kamal would say,
self.
you know, those quotes that was an African quote, right? That was an African concept. The African concept is, you know, like communalism, cooperative. I mean, cooperation is not an ideological position. It just makes sense, right?
Right.
Cooperation works. You're like if your body, if your organs are not cooperating, you die.
Right.
You know, cooperation is fundamental.
Yes.
Yeah, so-
And you said something, cooperation is fundamental. And you said something earlier that struck me. I actually made it my Facebook post. And I want to see if I can remember it. You said that time is scarce. And because time is scarce, That means that time is valuable. And there's
So
360,000?
36,000
30
days is 100 years.
36,000
Days
days.
is 100 years.
And I put, what are you spending your time on?
That's right.
So speak to that, because I just
Okay,
thought that was a gem you dropped.
It is. I mean, I've been teaching microeconomics for 30 years, and microeconomics talks about scarcity, but they usually talk about it in the form of land. So land is scarce, right? Or labor is scarce, right? Or raw materials are scarce, and because they're scarce, you either use that land, labor, capital equipment for one thing, and then you can't use it for another thing. That's what scarcity looks like. But traditional economics courses don't talk about human scarcity or scarcity of time. They don't talk about it enough. And so in this series, I bring that to the forefront.
Wow.
Because, yeah, I mean, it is the supreme scarcity.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
You know, land, labor, capital, all of that is irrelevant if you don't have the time.
Makes
right?
so much sense. And we spend so much time wasting time. You know, I was watching this video that says, and it's a mind shift from being the observer to the creator, getting out of observer mode where, you know, people are scrolling all day on social media, watching other people live their lives or do things or partake in things, like people are watching us now at this event. But you want to get from being an observer to a creator. So create what it is so people are observing you. So you're right. It's like, what do we spend our time on? Because so much time is wasted on being entertained.
Yeah. I mean, I got a couple students here. They probably had the workbook. Did you have the dream conversion workbook?
Oh yes,
right,
yes,
right. So,
amazing.
And the idea there and actually even the mastermind workbook, because I use that language is that, you know, like you could sit in my class and you could either be a producer or a consumer.
Yes.
And I can tell now, right? You got the workbook, right? And if you spend 14 weeks from me and I look at your workbook and there's nothing in it, you're a consumer. I ain't mad at you.
Right.
But you just demonstrated the truth.
Yes.
Right. And in 21st century, we need producers.
That's right.
Right. And so that's a forced discipline of getting people from moving away from that old paradigm of being consumers. Like, for example, traditional economics, if you look at the economic models, right, when they look at what they call the household, they look at the household as a consumer.
Yes.
In my framework, my political economy, as I was taught by Lloyd Hogan in Principles of Black Political Economy, right, is that no, we're not consumers, we're producers, but we don't realize it.
Right.
And we don't, because if we really realized that we were producers, we'd take our time a lot more seriously.
I totally agree. Yeah. So, what is your goal with the first book? Now, is this your first book that you've written?
No, it's not the first one, right?
So.
But this is the first digital one.
Okay, what is your goal from the first digital book?
Well, it's a lead generator, right? It's a lead generator. So there's two goals, right? One, I want to share with the world that, you know, that microeconomics, even though, so I'm a political economist, right? So even though I teach microeconomics, my framework is what we call political economy. So what I look at, like if you think about economics, right? Economics is about production and distribution, right? Producing things and distributing. Political economy is about the way human beings interact around that production, how they interact with the distribution, how we consume things to be like you are what you eat, right? You know, you are what you think, right?
Right.
And so political economy is about that which is around there. This first book is called Scarcity, Choice, and the Production Possibilities Curve. That's the first volume.
Wow,
right?
I love that title, by the way.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah, and so that one is designed to model this world of digital abundance, but using these old tools. But it's a lead generator, and
because you have 30 total.
That's what I expect to have. This is the first one.
Okay, so so you haven't pre-written the rest of them? Because I know you said the next one is marketing.
No, the next one is markets, right? So yeah, I'm looking to release them ambitiously one a month,
Wow.
right? Ambitiously.
You like NBA YoungBoy with music, you doing it in books. So you
Yeah,
go produce
yeah.
a book a month.
Well,
That's pretty ambitious.
yeah, it is, and but it's just not just me, right? Again, it's a team.
He laughing because he know the man is dropping like 5 to 10 albums like every quarter. He got 3 more albums and a book a month. But that's when like you said, when we're living in a digital age, this is what we should be able to expand our skill sets and our knowledge to be able to produce more.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team here, right? You're part of the team too.
Yes.
We doing this to eat. We're doing it to eat.
Right.
We're doing it to eat.
And I like lobster, so it's expensive.
We're doing it to eat, and but we're providing a stellar product that you only have to pay $11.11 to get this product, and hey Stan, what's up, man? You pay $11.11 to get this product, but you're getting something that is priceless.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we're going to do it 30 times. Right. You're going to get 30 units.
And it teaches others how to eat.
Well, I'm like, what's going to teach others how to eat is how we eat. Right. We're doing a revenue share, right? So the more volumes we sell, the more revenue we get, the better we eat.
Yes.
Right. And so that's the motivation. It's that. So like again, I came into economics. So again, like as I said, is at an undergraduate, it was like that's the only way I was able to graduate. Right? But then as I became more disciplined in it, right? I wanted to understand the trauma of Black society in America.
Yes.
Which was what I was experiencing also. Right?
Right.
It was like this is Bob Marley said it don't have to be this tough.
Right.
Right? Didn't he say something like that?
Sure did.
It don't have to be this tough. But what I was seeing is that when I look at segregation and when I look at the wealth differentials in like the East Side compared to Williamsville and Clarence, right? I wanted to find out why, right? And so my political economic analysis helped me find that out, right? And now I'm working on the solution.
Wow.
Right? So and the solution is. My work is Black political economy, cooperative economic policy, and community building practices. And this is community building, right? Well, and our model is everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
Because it speaks to many volumes. And I'm just honored to have been able to be a part of the process. And so how are you feeling at this moment, knowing that you had such a successful launch? You have so much support. You have a great team supporting you, and friends and family and even students came to support you today. How are you feeling at this moment?
This is divinity. This is divine. Right? I mean, again, my brother over here, he identified the 411, right?
Mary J with the 411.
Right, and like if he didn't identify the 411, we wouldn't have pushed so hard to get it done. Right? And we got it done.
Up to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, 411
and we all
got it
need, you speak to that, we all need someone to push us to be better. I just had a friend and I was like, what, I need you to be my accountability partner.
Yeah.
Because, God gives us downloads, He gives us ideas to do things that can help us eat, that can help everybody eat. But, if you don't get it done, then it's just an idea that's stagnated or, instead of something that is actually birthed into fruition.
So one of the things, like before we started talking here, when we was talking about the 11/11 earlier, right? Our ancestors, the relationship of our communal ancestors was the gift economy.
The gift economy?
Gift economy, right?
Gift economy.
And we didn't monetize things.
We just gave it.
Yeah,
right.
We just gave, right?
Yes, you're hungry, come get some food.
Right. I mean, and that's
if
you think about the communal environment. Like I don't know, but you probably know this too. But I've traveled the world, right? I've seen like the so-called uncivilized countries being extremely civilized.
Right,
Right.
definitely.
They'll give up their bed. They'll
sure
allow
would.
you to
They
sleep
sure
in their
would.
bed. That's the gift
That's right.
economy, right?
You're
So
right.
that's the remnants of the gift economy. So our version of the gift economy, we're giving you this book for $11.11,
Yes.
but it's priceless.
Yes.
Right? It's almost no cost, but you help us eat.
Yes.
You help us eat, right?
Yes. And that's the everybody eats.
Everybody eats. So.
I love that. And you know, speaking of everyone eats, you know, it took me a minute because I'm a person that, and when we speak about a digital economy, right, I do everything through plastic and digitize. But I wanted today because when you were talking about a conversation we had before of macroeconomics, and I was like, well, I want to buy the book, but I wanted to give it to you in exactly $11.11. And would you know that I had $10 in cash, and I literally had to go around my drawers and my pockets to find
You be a real
$1
old
in
school.
coins, right? And then to actually have
I'm not gonna say no.
11 cents. Yes, and that
Okay.
is 11,
Right.
and it should be a penny in there.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly 11.11 to
Okay.
purchase the book. And I mean, I could have just, you know, did it online and ordered it, but my spirit was
Yeah.
like, no, we want to have cash, we want to have coins, and we also want to respect digital things because I know that we're transitioning from tangible to
Digital. yeah.
digital. So that was
And,
my gift of what I
much
was led to
appreciated,
do.
much appreciated. And the thing, well,
'Cause this might be obsolete in a
well, I
year
mean,
or two. So
for a lot of the young folks, it already is,
right,
right? And but the thing is, again, this is it's paper.
right. It's
And,
paper.
and this is just coin. It's not
Right.
silver. It's not gold.
I wish it was
and,
silver and gold.
and even the penny
Yes.
is not copper,
See,
right? So
We've been
this is
boozled, folks.
yes, and so
that's the 411 right there.
yeah,
We've been
you know,
bamboozled, but
and the purchasing power of this $11.11 in on 4/11/2026 compared to 4/11/2031, right? What do you think is going to buy? If I just hold on to this for
Right.
5 years,
it's not
right?
gonna buy
What do y'all think? What's it going to buy?
nothing.
You know, and so yeah,
He said a
probably.
pack of gum, right? I think it won't be
If
no
that,
value.
or maybe a bazooka gun. You know, and so I appreciate this, but what I would say is that this is very disrespectful, not from you, but from but not from you, but from the Federal Reserve, right? Is that you know you work hard.
Right, and it's
I
not
work
backed by
hard,
anything.
right? And like what do they say? I work hard for the money.
Yeah,
But this money is a melting ice cube.
right.
That's disrespectful,
Right.
right? It's
true.
disrespectful. And no, I appreciate it, but I'm going to turn it into Bitcoin.
I know that's right. And we would hope that everyone gets the book and turn it into Bitcoin. And speaking of such, how can people, where do they order and how do they purchase the book for 11.11 today?
Can you tell?
CIGbuffalo.com.
Okay.
CIGbuffalo.com. And, you know, we want you to like, we want you to comment, we want you to ask whatever questions you have as we are live on Facebook. Any last words or comments that you have for
Yeah.
viewers?
So if you see me showing up in your DMs, right, I'm going to give you CIGbuffalo.com.
Yeah, so, you know, there you have it. I'm honored to have been able to be here today and to interview you. And that is Carlanda signing out for Black Resource, Mindframe Media, BWNY News, and CIG.
Yes, CIG.
CIG Buffalo
The Academy. Yep.
The Academy. Peace and love, everyone.
Peace and
Share
love.
the video and go purchase a copy now,
Yeah.
right now.